Hi students, it's nice to see you. And it's been a long time since my last YouTube video, so I'm happy to be back making a video for everyone. I hope it goes smoothly and I don't make too many mistakes. Have to readjust my microphone because it hasn't been used in a couple weeks. But it's nice to see you. And recently, I've been really enjoying watching some of the highlights and the amazing plays from the recent World Cup happening in Qatar. I hope you guys have been also enjoying it and watching some games. But it's really late at night in Japan. It starts at midnight and the next game is at 4 in the morning. So I am going to be honest, I have not watched even one game. I I couldn't wake up as early as 4 in the morning, and I don't want to stay awake at midnight. So, yes, I didn't watch any games. I watched the highlights. I check the news the first thing in the morning, and I'm always excited to see how the teams are doing. I have a coworker. He's from France, and his team is doing very well. But he really doesn't care so much about soccer. So he says if France makes it to the final round, I'll watch the game. And yeah, that's how excited he is about sports. But another thing was happening in the news connected to the World Cup, and that was the Japanese fans. And as we know, I think everybody knows, Japanese fans clean up the stadium after the matches. And recently, it's been getting really international attention. And so I wrote an article about what the international community thinks of these Japanese fans and how they're feeling about it and what the news or newspapers have said about these fans as well. So let's get started and let's read Japan Cleans the World Cup Stadium. Last week, Japan had their final match of the World Cup, playing against Croatia and losing in the penalty kick stage 3-1. Many people around the world, including myself, were cheering for Japan because they had a very good performance this World Cup, beating Germany and then Spain and getting the number one spot in their group, something that they have never done before. The Spain and German teams were predicted to win both of their matches against Japan, but the Japan team surprised everyone with their amazing teamwork, skilled ball handling, and endless energy to score many goals and advance to the next stage of the tournament. But there was something happening in the stands that has left an equally strong impression in the minds of those watching from around the world. The fans themselves cleaning up the stadium after each game they attended. While the game is going on, the fans cheer, shout, yell, and act just like any other soccer fan at their favorite sports game. When the match ends, most fans in the stadium go home, but not a large chunk of the Japanese fans. They take out their big blue garbage bags and start cleaning up the trash all around them. This has been going on for many years, and the Japanese fans are becoming more and more famous with each World Cup. Not only are they cleaning up after their own games, but it was reported that they were also cleaning up after the games that Japan didn't play in, like the opening game of Ecuador versus Qatar. From the Daily Mail, a UK media outlet, said this about the Japanese fans. Fans dressed in their national colors stayed behind to pick up bottles and food wrapping left in the stands. The country has gained a reputation for similar goodwill at previous international tournaments, and their admirable behavior is already winning plaudits in the Middle East. Today, incredible images showed fans holding up bags inside the stadium before the match that they would later use to pick up the rubbish in the stands after. Some of the quotes on the FIFA Twitter page gave a lot of praise to the fans for their respect that they have for the stadium, the sport, and the environment. One user said, "These guys are the real winners of the World Cup." Another said, "Even after defeat, Japan fans still cleaned up the stadium." Meanwhile, the official FIFA account said, "In victory or defeat, there is always respect. Thank you for helping to save the planet, Japan fans." Another fan said, respect for Japan fans even after losing 1-0 to Costa Rica. It's becoming a reoccurring theme to see Japan fans leaving no trace behind at stadiums. This quote was taken at the World Cup, I think 4 years ago. So that's why it's talking about losing to Costa Rica, which didn't happen this World Cup. So it seems that the reputation of fans has also spread to the Japanese players as well. The Japanese players as well, because after all of their matches, they cleaned their locker room in the Qatar stadium and left it looking completely new. The players even made paper swans out of origami and left a thank you letter to FIFA saying arigato. Some of the fans were asked why they were cleaning up the stadium by reporters at the World Cup, and some fans responded, "What we're taught is that leaving things cleaner than the way you found it is atarimae, and that we should always express gratitude. It's because we are taught it by our parents and through education." One fan explained in the TikTok video of Al Jazeera English that it's good karma. And for the national team to reach their goal, our heart is clean, so the stands must be clean. This means the team reaches its destiny. Although the Japan team didn't quite make it to the final, everyone was very impressed with their performance, and the coach gave a nice bow to say thank you to the fans, the people of Japan, and soccer fans around the world. Let's all look forward to the next World Cup, where hopefully Japan can reach its destiny, the final game. All right, that's all for the article. Let's look at the vocabulary very quickly, and then we'll talk about the article a little bit more. So our first word in today's article is predicted. Here. The Spain and German teams were predicted to win both of their matches. So in this situation, predicted means stated or estimated as likely to happen in the future. So the German team was predicted to win. The reason why is because the German ranking was much higher than Japan's ranking, and the Spain ranking was much, much higher. So it was a big shock when Japan beat Germany and then beat Spain too. My coworker, who is a huge soccer fan, he's the sub coach for at my school. He said it will be impossible for Japan to beat Spain. So he was really happy and very impressed the next day after Japan beat Spain. The next word is impression. Impression means an idea, feeling, or opinion about something or someone, especially one formed without conscious thought or the basis of little evidence. In the article, it says, the fans have left an equally strong impression. So they've left a strong impression. The next word is chunk. Chunk means a significant amount of something. And in the article, it says, not a large chunk of the Japanese fans. So this means a large amount of Japanese fans stayed at the stadium. They didn't go home. And they stayed there to clean up. The next word is media outlet. Media outlet means a publication or broadcast program that provides news. These days, there are so many different types of ways to deliver the news. You could deliver news by newspaper, by magazine, on TV, on the radio, and also on websites, social media. It's endless. So we don't say a newspaper or we don't say a magazine. We just say media outlet. Just one of these types of ways for media to get broadcast. So the Daily Mail is a UK media outlet. All right, the next word is admirable. Admirable. This is arousing or deserving respect and approval. So the quote from the Daily Mail said that admirable behavior is already winning plaudits in the Middle East. Plaudits is maybe another new word. That means praise. Plaudits. All right. Those are our vocabulary words for today. Let's practice them one more time. The first word is predicted. Next is impression. Next is chunk. The next word is media outlet. And the final word is admirable. Okay, and finally, we'll move on to our discussion questions. So our first discussion question today is, what is your opinion or impression of the World Cup? Please let me know what you think of the World Cup. It could be this current World Cup, or it could be a previous World Cup that you've seen before. Number 2, how do you feel about Japanese fans cleaning up the stadium at international events? How do you feel? Are you impressed? Are you proud? Are you surprised? How do you feel about it? Number 3, do you have a favorite sports memory? In this question, I'm just asking you to tell me about a time in your life that you remember strongly that's connected to sports in some way. It could be a sport that you play, or a sport memory that you've watched, or even maybe someone in your family, like at a sports festival, that you remember fondly. Number 4, other than the World Cup, do you follow any other sports? And number 5, do you play any sports, or did you play any sports when you were younger? All right. So those are our questions for this article about the World Cup, and I'll answer a couple of the questions. So let's see. Other than the World Cup, do you follow any other sports? When I lived in America, I used to follow sports. I used to really enjoy watching American football, baseball. My father used to get basketball tickets a lot, and me and him would go to the basketball games together. Since I've moved to Japan, only the big events, only the World Cups, the Olympics, and things like that. If suddenly Japan is doing really, really well in something, I'll start watching. Like if, for example, like that women's volleyball World Cup, I think it was, and Japan was doing really, really well. That was fun to watch. But yeah, other than that, just the really big events. One of my coworkers is a really big rugby fan, and I watched a couple rugby games because he was cheering the teams, so that was really fun. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, there was the Rugby World Cup in Japan, and the Japan team was very strong, so I really enjoyed watching their games. And number 5 asks, do you play any sports, and did you play any sports when you were younger? Yes, I loved playing sports. And I thought I'm pretty good at playing sports. I enjoy playing basketball, volleyball, table tennis, any kind of target like darts or archery or bowling or something like that. I really enjoy, and I'm pretty good at those. So I guess I have really good eye and hand like coordination to make really good plays in those kind of sports games. I would love to try curling or something like that. And at the park near my house, I sometimes see large groups of people playing grand golf. That looks really, really fun, and I'd love to try playing that someday. But everyone playing grand golf is like 60 years old or more. So I think if I tried to play now, maybe some people will become upset. So I have to wait until I'm a little older before I can enjoy grand golf with the other senior citizens. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have some nice sports memories to share, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the World Cup. Even though Japan is finished, the World Cup is still going, so let's enjoy the rest of the games and see which country is going to be the winner of this year's World Cup. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the YouTube video, and I look forward to seeing all of your comments and answers to the questions. Okay, goodbye everyone. See you.